Hey guys, excuse the mess. If you see something moving over in this general area, it's my friend. He's sleeping in my floor. So yeah, it's been a while since I made one of these uh, Blu-ray DVD pickup things, videos, whatever. Uh, so I figured I'd just make one before I have way too much to show off. Uh, First off, this came in yesterday, or 2 days ago. Uh, I have all these on DVD, but I'm wanting to get them over on Blu-ray, and I love the way these sets look, and that's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the Ultimate Edition Blu-ray, which is it's still sealed. I got it. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen some of the newer ones they have. I don't like the route they went with their packaging, like having that card under here because catches. It just looks horrible. But this is like perfect to me. I've seen unboxings and stuff, and it has a little magnetic clasp and stuff, and it's a 3-disc thing with a book and some cards and documentary and stuff like that. But yeah, it kind of aggravates me. I buy stuff online because I don't like the spider wires Walmart puts on stuff. But as you can see, this one has had spider wires on it at some point. Uh, yeah, I want to collect all of these. It's kind of expensive, but I like these better than the big set that they have with all of the movies in them. We're gonna go on a theme thing for a second. Back in February, Skyfall came out on Blu-ray. I missed out on it in theaters, and this is just an awesome movie. And to make it even more awesome, the day I bought this after work, watched it, and then that night UPS dropped off this. So I grew up watching all the Bond movies, and this is just awesome. It's got all the Bond movies except for Skyfall. Uh, haven't been able to check any of them out yet, just because time and stuff. And but I've seen all of the Bond movies, and uh, probably gonna dive into this pretty soon and try to knock out the whole series over a month or two. uh, yeah, for a while there, this was going around Christmas. This was going for outrageous prices, like almost $300 around Christmas, and it. I kind of kicked myself in the ass for not getting it when it was 170 new or whatever. But in February, I don't know if it's because of Skyfall coming out or something, but the price dropped from 230, 240 down to 130, and I jumped on that, and it's just an awesome looking set. Uh, I love the Bond movies. They're just a huge part of my childhood. But there's Bond. Next up is another kind of nostalgic thing. That's the Back to the Future, the Blu-ray trilogy thing, 25th anniversary. I grew up with these as well, and I don't know why it took me forever to pick up a copy. But I don't really like the packaging though, because as you can see, it's kind of smashed looking. And it just got a slip cover, and so yeah, it's just nice to have them on Blu-ray though. So stupid packaging. Another one that came out a few months ago was the Die Hard 25th anniversary Blu-ray collection. I've seen the first three. I haven't seen the fourth one. I've heard it's pretty good. I know the fifth one's like garbage apparently. So I guess I figured I'd just get the good ones. uh, Once again, Walmart where I work, they put spider wires on these since it won't fit in a case since it's kind of thick. So it took me a really long time to go ahead and pick it up because when they put the spider wires on them, they crushed the packaging and put these little divots and stuff. But somebody had tucked this one in the back without putting spider wires on it. I don't know if they were lazy or whatever, but finally allowed me to pick it up in a condition that I like. But yeah, like I said, it's got the 5 movies on them. Come on. It's 4 movies, not 4, not 5. Plus some bonus features and stuff. It's another collection to my collection. A few weeks ago I picked up Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I didn't know what to expect from this. I didn't really have high hopes, but when I finally watched it, it was so much better than I expected. But it really ended up kind of reigniting my interest in the Planet of the Apes movies because, like a lot of things, I grew up watching them on TV, marathons on TBS or TNT or something. So I ended up immediately finding a copy of the Planet of the Apes 40-Year Evolution collection, which is actually a really nice collection. It's got the little cover thing, and then you have that, you have the apes in the back, and it folds out. This is like huge. You got 3 movies over here, and then a book, and the other 2 movies over here. The book comes out, but this is just an awesome collection. I'm kind of afraid to watch it though, because I just got this a little while ago, so I haven't been able to check it out yet. I haven't seen a Planet of the Apes movie, one of the original ones, in 15 years. So I'm really worried that it won't hold up to what I have in my head. But yeah, it's really, these are going for like 170 new. I ended up picking up a used copy for like 45, 50 or something. It's in perfect shape and stuff. I mean, it's pretty much just missing the wrapping. That's it. It's just, whoever had it before me took very good care of it. Next up was like Game of Thrones season 2 on Blu-ray, as you can see. Like the first season, I just plowed through this in like one sitting. All 10 episodes, I think. And it was just awesome. The story with the Daenerys or whatever wasn't as strong as the first season. Everything else was really good, really brutal. Not as depressing as the first season. Not nearly as depressing. I bought it at Walmart, so it also came with this little bonus exclusive thing inside the visual effects. But like the first season, I absolutely hate the way they did the special features. They'll list them on like disc, like you pop in disc 1, you'll pick a special features, and it'll immediately tell you to remove the disc and put in disc 4. Or you put in disc 3, and you pick a special feature, it tells you put in disc 5. I wish they would just put all the movies on the first 4 discs and then special features on the 5th disc. It would have been so much more convenient and less aggravating. Yeah, this is just an awesome show. I wish I had HBO so I could see season 3. I know some people torrent it and stuff, but I'm just gonna wait till it comes out on Blu-ray because I'm not that impatient. But yeah, it's just really nice packaging. I love it when they do this. A lot of stuff they just throw something out and it's like, yeah. But this is really good quality and stuff. I'm gonna knock out the movies that I bought but haven't watched yet. First up is The Man from Nowhere. I've seen this several times on Netflix, so I had to have it on Blu-ray. Last month, I think they took it off Netflix for some reason, and I was really wanting to watch it, so I hopped on Amazon and picked up a copy. It was a nice slipcover. It's still sealed, unfortunately. I wanted to watch it, and by the time it got here, I didn't feel like watching it for some reason. And then I was on Netflix yesterday, and it's back on there. So, yeah. Man from Nowhere. Monsters Inc. I got the 3D Ultimate Collector's Edition thingy. That lenticular cover. I hurt my eyes. Great movie. I haven't watched it on Blu-ray yet, obviously, but Pixar movies are just really high quality. I've seen most of them. I haven't seen the Cars one or anything, or the was Ratatouille one of them? Can't remember. I haven't seen that one, but good classic one. I'm really looking forward to seeing the college one, Monsters University or whatever it's called. But one thing I like about the Disney ones, Blu-rays, they make very hefty packaging. You feel like you're getting your money's worth. A while back, I put out the new releases at Walmart usually, and this caught my eye. And it's Cabaret. Still haven't watched it yet, but it's a digibook thing. But come on. Just different pictures and stuff. Not really a huge fan of musicals and stuff, but I had to pick it up. I think after like 3 months, I was still the only. We got 3 copies in the night it came out, and 3 months later there was 2 copies left because I bought one. These 2 movies were Walmart had them for $5 each or whatever on one of their features, and it was really the only thing worth getting at the time. And it's Red Planet and the Brave one. I remember seeing the Brave one, the advertisements for it when it first came out, but I never watched it. I've seen parts of Red Planet. I know it has the guy from The Mentalist, and he's awesome. So I think he's just on a small part, but still. And Carrie-Anne Moss is hot. A while back, I picked up the Grindhouse double feature thingy. That's got both. It has Death Proof and Planet Terror. I only really want to see Death Proof because it has a Challenger in it. I'm not a huge Tarantino fan, but yeah, it's got that nice cover. I don't really know where it came from. It just suddenly, one copy just appeared at our Walmart, and nobody picked it up for a couple weeks, so I grabbed it. But yeah, I'll pick that up. It's a 2-disc collector's edition or whatever. I love the case though. It's got that nice whatever. But yeah, I'll watch it eventually. I think it was last week. I put out new releases, and these 2 came out. There was only a few copies of each, so I ended up picking up both of them. That was Pillow Talk, which is an old movie with Rock Hudson and Doris Day. It's got some special features and stuff, but I love it when they release these old movies on Blu-ray, just out of nowhere. And I'm a fan of older movies, mainly thanks to my dad. So I really can't wait to check that one out. And then the same night, The Great Escape came out on Blu-ray. And it doesn't have as many special features, I don't think, if it has any. 8 featurettes include. Oh, okay. Hours of extra, including blah blah blah. Yeah. Eddie has kind of spoiled this movie for me, but I'm still gonna watch it. Another $5 Blu-ray I picked up a while back. I've seen it before, but I haven't watched. I haven't watched it on Blu-ray, and that's No Country for Old Men, which is an excellent movie. It's very brutal. Just Javier Bardem, or whatever his name is just super, super, super creepy in this movie, and they did a really awesome job with this film. It's really sad. It's not one of those you leave the theater really happy kind of movies. This is a yeah. I might watch that one today. I don't know. A while back, these two came out on the same night. I've seen them both, obviously, many times, but I haven't watched these copies yet. That's Willow, which is really a fun movie. And I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. It probably just got stuck in the back of my shelf. It just kind of languished there. Same with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, 25th anniversary. This is a wacky movie. It just what it did just captured my imagination when I was a kid. You know, mixing live action with cartoons. And since I grew up watching old cartoons, that's kind of a hand-me-down kid. I recognized so many characters whenever I first watched this as like a 6-year-old. Kind of wanting to do like a whole marathon of movies today. I don't know, but it comes as a nice slipcover and everything. Once again, hardly anybody bought these movies. I don't know why. I think they were just because they got stuck on the bottom shelf of the new releases and nobody saw them. But got a nice slipcover and a whole bunch of bonus features and stuff. And this movie I wasn't really interested in is mainly for my brother. Yeah, he's that's Man with the Iron Fist. It's got Batiste in it, and that's about all I really care about. I mean, Lucy Lou's hot. That's about it. I haven't watched it. My brother, I mainly bought it for my brother. I'll probably watch it pretty soon. I don't know. Next up is Seven Psychopaths. When I first saw the trailer for this, I fell in love with it. Just the cast is just hilarious in the trailer. When I watched the movie, it was so much better, but so much darker than I was expecting. Just the sense of humor just is really violent, really like almost hyper violent on certain parts. But I've adored this movie. Yeah, just if you haven't seen it, pick it up. It's worth watching, whether or not you think the trailer is good or not. I think this was $5 as well. That's An American Werewolf in London, which I've seen parts of it when I was a kid, as well as An American Werewolf in Paris or whatever, which is like I enjoyed it when I was a kid, but I'd never really seen the whole one in London. And I love how it shows the second guy, even though he's like in the beginning and certain parts, he's kind of sprinkled through the whole movie. But it's like a very misleading cover. You think it's going to be an adventure of these two guys. Look at that, Will's awake. Hi, Will. But it really should have been him and then the what's her name? I can't even remember what her name is. Jenny Agutter, I think. Yeah. Looked great on Blu-ray. Really funny. It's got Rick Mayo on a little part in the pub at the beginning. Stevie Blu-rays are gonna fall over. I don't know. Uh, Django Unchained, really awesome performances, really brutal. Uh, it's I'd heard a lot of things where it was like supposed to be like really racist against white people, but it really wasn't because everybody, every white person who dies in this movie generally deserved to die. uh, but I love how they added sunglasses to him. I've seen that other posters where he doesn't have sunglasses, and it looks kind of awkward on the cover. I don't know why. But Christoph Waltz was awesome in this. And so was Leonardo DiCaprio, and everybody was awesome. Samuel L. Jackson was freaking hilarious. His first scene just had me in stitches. He did such a freaking hilarious job. It was almost would have made the movie worthwhile for me just for that little bit. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Wish I had seen it earlier. Uh, Star Trek Into Darkness came out today, and Tuesday night we got a whole bunch of Star Trek stuff in for our Father's Day end cap thing, and one of them was just the first Star Trek movie that was released back in 2009, I think. Yeah, I think, yeah. I'd seen it a few years ago at my ex's house, but I don't really remember. I didn't really remember much about it except that it was really good and had some funny parts. So I finally picked it up, watched through it, and this is awesome. I really can't wait until I can see Star Trek Into Darkness. I think it's Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever. A few months ago, I watched the Sherlock on Netflix. All 6 episodes. They're like an hour and a half long each, but all 6 episodes in probably, I don't know, 2 days, spread out over 2 days. And then about a week later, I did it again. I watched all of them. He's just such a good actor, and it's kind of funny because he's gonna be in the Hobbit. He plays Smaug and the Necromancer, along with Martin Freeman, who plays Bilbo Baggins, who plays Watson on Sherlock. But yeah, that was a little side tangent that didn't need to exist. But that's Star Trek. I don't know if this is going to stay in my collection just because I really want the 3-disc version, the collector's edition. Because this is literally, it says disc 1 on it, which is disc 1 of 1. No special features at all, really, except for commentary and NASA news, which is a BD Live feature thing. But I kind of regret buying it just because it was like $15 for this brand new. So I'm probably gonna end up giving it away or I don't know. I'm gonna do something with it and get the 3-disc version, which runs for like $25 to $40 right now. So yeah, really enjoyed Star Trek. This week, I bought this with Star Trek. Cloud Atlas came out, and wow. This movie was just as awesome as I expected. I knew I got some really mixed reviews from both. It's a really polarizing movie. You either loved it or hated it, and I loved it. I think it came out back in freaking October, and it didn't come out on Blu-ray till May. Just for comparison, The Hobbit came out in December in theaters and came out on Blu-ray in March. So 2 months later, The Hobbit was released, and 2 months after The Hobbit was released on Blu-ray, Cloud Atlas was released. I don't know why there was such a huge delay, but it was kind of complicated, but I had like no trouble following all the different plot lines and stuff. And at the end, it was so. This is like a really big achievement. in my mind, so, just because I loved it. Some people criticize the prosthetics, and sometimes it can be kind of weird, but because you have like 8 actors or something playing 6 different characters in 6 different time periods or whatever, and it was just really, I don't know, it was Hugh Grant's characters were pretty funny. Just he got, there's a lot of hype about him being in it, but he's only in like certain bit roles in certain scenes. Uh, Hugo Weaving did a really good job in some of his stuff, and yeah, I'm going on way too long about this, but uh, Cloud Atlas, if you haven't seen it, at least give it a shot. It's like $15 brand new on DVD. This was like 25, but uh, I absolutely adored this movie, and I wish it hadn't taken so long to get out on Blu-ray. A couple weeks ago, this came out. I didn't even hear anything about it, and I saw it, went home, read about it, and about a week later, I finally went and picked it up, and that's The Impossible. Come on, there we go. Has Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor, and this is actually a really good movie. It's pretty much about the 2004 tsunami over in, where was it at? Thailand. Yeah. And every, hi.
Hi.
I'm not editing this out.
Damn it. Fine.
Yeah, really good. You could really see the confusion and stuff that was happening. It's based off a true story. I mean, the real characters were, I think, like Italian or Portuguese or Spanish or something, and it's been criticized for being whitewashed or whatever, but I don't really care. Yep. Ewan McGregor did a really good job. Naomi Watts, she did a really good performance for somebody who's pretty much laying down most of the movie. She's very, right at the beginning, she gets injured, so she's sludging through. There's a part where her leg's like torn open, and it's creepy as heck. And you get to see her tits though, so that's, yeah. Impossible. Check it out. It's like $15 new, I think, on Blu-ray. Oh, and the child performances were really, really good. I usually hate child actors, but they really got some good performances out of these kids. So at least like look at a couple of scenes on YouTube or something. A lot of people got me hyped up for this, and it lived up to expectation. And that was Silver Linings Playbook. Jennifer Lawrence is like super hot in this movie, and whatever his name, Bradley Cooper, is excellent. I mean, he's been really. I've seen him in a lot of comedy movies, but this has got some comedy in it, and some parts actually had me like out of the blue, just cracking up laughing. They had like really good chemistry and stuff, and he did like an amazing dramatic performance. He plays somebody who's bipolar, got some mental stuff, so it kind of hit close to home because my family has some that kind of stuff. Yeah, really good chemistry. Robert De Niro's character he did an excellent job on this movie. Just, it's not overtly said that he has these mental issues, but you can tell. It's just, and Chris Tucker, he's got top billing, but he's only on a couple scenes, but his scenes are pretty freaking hilarious. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect because I say all this sports crap on it. I hate sports so much. I'm not a big dancing fan either, but I gave it a shot, and I am so glad I did. It's a really good movie. This came out last week, I think. Yeah. And that's Jack Reacher. And this is actually a really good movie. It has an excellent car chase scene with, I think it's in a Nova or something, chasing the bad guys, involving a whole bunch of cops and stuff. But I guess Tom Cruise does a lot of his own stunts, and so you're always seeing him. It focuses on him while he's doing these stunts and stuff, and really good fight scenes. You have what was it? I don't show anybody. Robert Duvall, I think. Really good performances. I didn't really care for there's one little scene where she's like describing all these people's lives, where it's kind of too, I don't know, it's hard to say, it's too positive and stuff. He kind of makes it less positive, but still too positive. Everybody's too amazing and stuff. But this is an excellent movie. Just as good as I thought it would be. Looks great on Blu-ray as well. I hadn't even heard of this movie, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, Film Fan Pete, he did a review of the Blu-ray before it came out, and after I watched it, I had to pick it up, and that's The Master. This is a really good movie. It's beautifully shot and beautifully acted and stuff, and it's kind of hard to follow if you're not really paying attention to it. I don't want to spoil anything about it, but it's just a really good movie. I don't even want to say anything about it. Just if you haven't seen it and you're interested, just look it up on Wikipedia or something, or find a synopsis. It's first off, it's just beautiful. It's beautifully shot, and the story's good, and the acting is great, and yeah, I love this movie. Picked this up. This came out like in March, I think, and I didn't pick it up, and finally it's $10. Just do it, and that's The Sandlot, a movie I grew up with as a kid. It's the 20th anniversary Blu-ray, and it's actually pretty cool because it comes with this nice slip cover that you can see, or you can feel the baseball and everything. And then you got the actual the cover. But the coolest part about it is it comes with this little pack of trading cards, which I haven't opened. I'm not going to open it. But it's got a card for each character with like a little quote or name or something, nickname for him. So Kenny's the Sultan of SWAT or whatever, which I think is actually Babe Ruth or something. The Blu-ray looks really good. Over the last couple of months, I've watched a couple of movies from my collection that I never got around to, like Patriot Games and stuff, which are old movies back in the 90s when they didn't really have good, for some reason they didn't have good film quality, and everything looked dark and gritty and kind of bad. But they do an amazing job of, upgrading this upscaling this up to Blu-ray and stuff. And a lot of the movies I've seen that are filmed in the 90s and they released on Blu-ray recently, they all look amazing. Some of them, I mean, certain ones are obviously just going to be upscaled, like DVDs and stuff. But for the most part, if it's a major thing, you're going to find really good picture quality. And like I said, I watched the Patriot Games, and it looked awesome. Last up, I almost forgot about this somehow. And which movie was it? I don't know. One of the movies I had here reminded me of it. If I hadn't remembered, I would have left it out somehow, and that would have been an atrocity. And that's The Hobbit. I got the Walmart exclusive Digibook thing with the Blu-ray. Sorry. Hey, sir! This comes with all these little bits and pieces. But I don't have to say anything about The Hobbit. I saw it in theaters. It was awesome. I saw it on Blu-ray. It was even better because I hate theaters. I hate the whole theater experience. Yet I continue to go. Yeah, that's about it. And naturally, this is like a 37-minute long video. I have to edit it down. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
I knew I'd forget stuff, and I forgot stuff. I got Facts of Life, seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. Haven't checked it out yet, but watched this all the time when I was a kid on Nick at Night. Picked up Rocko's Modern Life, the complete series, 8 disc set. I know it's on Netflix, but I just
Sorry.
I prefer having the physical copy, and it's very awesome. It's got this awesome art on the background that Joe Murray did specifically for this release. I think if you had pre-ordered it from Shout Factory, yeah, Shout Factory made it. If you had pre-ordered it from Shout Factory, then it would have came with the signed print of that background art. But yeah, freaking love Rocko's Modern Life. And finally, I got Digimon, the first season, which is the first series, the complete one, not those like half-assed ones you find at like Walmart and stuff that have like 12 episodes or something on it. This has all 54 episodes, and it's funny because it's got the slipcase. The slipcase is required because without it, it doesn't stay shut. See, you close it and immediately it pops back open. Oh, it will. Yeah, see. But it's actually a pretty good release because it comes with this little book about all the Digidestins and stuff. Let me see. It's got lyrics on the back of it for the theme songs. Yeah. It's got a page for all the characters and their digivolutions and stuff. Getting a phone call. I'm ignoring it. My boy Izzy. Yeah. I had pre-ordered the second season, which came out in late March, but I didn't have the money for it at the time, so I had to end up canceling my pre-order. The price will probably end up dropping anyways. It was like $80 brand new, which kind of sucked, but yeah. But yeah, like I said, slipcase is required because it won't stay shut without it. Yeah. I knew I'd forget stuff, and I forgot stuff. I got Facts of Life, seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. Haven't checked it out yet, but watched this all the time when I was a kid on Nick at Night. Picked up Rocko's Modern Life, the complete series, 8 disc set. I know it's on Netflix, but I just
Sorry.
I prefer having the physical copy, and it's very awesome. It's got this awesome art on the background that Joe Murray did specifically for this release. I think if you had pre-ordered it from Shout Factory, yeah, Shout Factory made it. If you had pre-ordered it from Trout Factory, then it would have came with the signed print of that background art. But yeah, freaking love Rocco's Modern Life. And finally, I got Digimon, the first season, which is the first series, the complete one, not those like half-assed ones you find at like Walmart and stuff. That have like 12 episodes or something on it. This has all 54 episodes, and it's funny because it's got the slipcase. The slipcase is required because without it, it doesn't stay shut. See, you close it and immediately it pops back open. Oh, it will. Yeah, see. But it's actually a pretty good release because it comes with this little book about all the Digidestins and stuff. Let me see. It's got lyrics on the back of it for the theme songs. Yeah. It's got a page for all the characters and their Digivolutions and stuff. Getting a phone call. I'm ignoring it. My boy Izzy. Yeah. I had pre-ordered the second season, which came out in late March, but I didn't have the money for it at the time, so I had to end up canceling my pre-order. The price would probably end up dropping anyways. It was like $80 brand new, which kind of sucked, but yeah. But yeah, like I said, slipcase is required because it won't stay shut without it. Yeah.